Today we're going to look at the yield landscape of Ethereum. Now I know ETH is down terribly bad recently. Totally true. But historically, this quarter of an election year tends to be a bearish time, and Q1 we tend to take off. So let's hope that that happens, and in the meantime, accumulate as much ETH as possible. First, we're going to look at Contango. You guys know I love Contango. You're probably bored of me talking about Contango, but just really quickly, for posterity, remember that Contango is a place where you can leverage up LRTs and LSTs, so you're effectively leveraging the additional yield on these ETH derivatives without like additional delta exposure, and getting between 40 and 15% APR. It's awesome. You can farm incentives this way, and if you're farming points, like Renzo points, for example, you can multiply your speculative points yield by the leverage. So real quick, I've done some math on Renzo, 4.5 additional percent for this cycle using current numbers. And if you did that, let's just call it 4% times 7. It's another 28% for the airdrop on top of this already 25% net. So let's just call that 50%, and that's without even considering Igen points. So you're also getting Igen points. It could be really nice, is all I'm saying. Now, I am, as many people know, a bear when it comes to Igen, because I think Igen has dropped all of the balls they were given. They were effectively handed the most interesting narrative of this cycle, and they ruined it. And so maybe I'm too harsh on Igen. I'll try not to be, but the bright side is there are some competitors. Melo, as an example, which is built on top of Symbiotic, which is the main competitor backed by Paradigm and Lido, is a really interesting case. Melo has all of these ETH LRTs that are on Symbiotic, right? Symbiotic is the eigenlayer competitor, and some of them are getting 3 types of points simultaneously. So you have AM4 restaked BTC getting Symbiotic, getting Melo, getting AM4 points, and then you have Quasar's unified restaked ETH from, what's the name of that thing? Union is the bridge there. So they've sort of built this out. And with that, you're getting Unify points, Melo points, Symbiotic points. And then Renzo itself has Renzo, Symbiotic, Melo. So there's all of these different combinations and permutations of points. All of them have effectively the same risk profile because they're all backed by the same Melo tech. They just have different curators who are the ones taking on the legal risk of these LRTs and their associated AVS decisions. You can leverage these things on Silo. So Gearbox was the first one, in my opinion, to have like real leverage, your traditional leverage for LRTs, but Gearbox is capped on all of these. Renzo piece ETH, Melo ETH, Stake LRT, and AM4 ETH. These are all capped. They've hit the caps, and we're waiting for the caps to rise on those so that we can, ape some more in there. In the interim, Silo also has really good bar rates here. So you're looking at 3.4%, 2.4%, 1.2%. If you're estimating the yield, and I've done a little bit of yield estimations here, bull case and bear case, if you're estimating the yield on these airdrops, combine all 3 of the point systems together, being anywhere near even 10% additional APR overall, then you can put 13% here, borrow cost 3.5%, you're looking at a 76% yield. And if you're really bullish and you think it's around 20, you're looking at over 100% APR. So again, hyper speculative, the vast majority of your yield is coming from points, and we really don't know what those are going to be worth in the future. But if you are interested in speculating on Melo, Symbiotic, Renzo, AM4, Silo is the place to do it. And I do anticipate that these will come to Contango for one-click leveraging soon enough. But in the meantime, before they get there, you can enjoy some really low borrow cost, because I think as soon as they go on Contango, the borrow cost is going to go way up. And if there was like a secondary in the market for betting on those rates, I would be buying the yield token for sure. Now, these are all like Delta 1 exposures to ETH. If you want to LP, because we have been in a volatile crab market, let's just say, for quite some time. I mean, even in the last month, we've been ranging between, I don't know, 2,700 to 2,300. If you took that range and threw it into revert on Ethereum for Uniswap V3, you're looking at something like 120% fee APR just for that range. That's amazing. That's incredible. Now, I can't tell you we're gonna crab forever. I am not the kind of guy who does charting, so who knows what's gonna happen in the future. But if you do think we're gonna be crabbish for a while, this is a great opportunity. There are other opportunities out there. I mean, there's, Aerodrome also has a pool like this. crazy fees. I'm not gonna shill it too much because I don't want to dilute my own bags, but it's really good. You should look at it. Remembering that the easy way to calculate the yield of a concentrated liquidity pool is to take the fee tier, multiply it by the daily volume, multiply that by 365, and divide it by the TVL. So if you do that, let's just say a 0.04% fee tier with $290 million of daily volume on a TVL of 18 million, you're looking at a 235% average APR on that concentrated liquidity pool. So could get super interesting is all I'm saying. Now, you can always go over to DeFi Llama and check out the yields there, but I will say sometimes you're going to get mixed results. So what I do is I use this as a jumping off point. What I'll do is I'll type in ETH, and sometimes I'll also add wrap staked ETH because sometimes there's some good Merkel yields, and then I will sort by no IL. You can also add TVL with a minimum of like 100,000, so you're not too dilutive, and sort by APYs. 210 sounds nice, but probably not going to get that. Maybe you might get that. Anyways, it's a good place to check every now and again. A lot of these are not real, is what I would say. You're just not going to get them, but sometimes you'll find a gem out there that's worth looking at. Finally, let's check out Merkl. I love Merkl. It's one of the coolest incentivizing tools that's come out of this run. It didn't come out of this bull run, but it's heavily been used this cycle during Superfest for optimism, during LTIP for Arbitrum, and so many people have become intimately familiarized with it, and it has now become one of the de facto incentivizing tools for incentivization campaigns. So what Merkl allows you to do is effectively get a additional yield, kind of like a farm yield, on top of your organic yield by doing specific things on protocols. Now, let's just say you're LPing on Camelot or on Acron or on PancakeSwap or on Uniswap. You don't have to deposit anything onto Merkl to get the additional yield. All you have to do is LP, and then you will qualify on Merkl. And once you qualify on Merkl, you just go claim your rewards. So Merkl is completely non-custodial. They're not holding your LP tokens at all. No additional smart contract risk. You're just qualifying and claiming. And I love it. I love how low risk that is. I love that it's non-custodial. Amazing incentivization mechanism. And they give you some pretty great APRs. Right now, Uniswap is doing really high levels of incentives on the most random chains. On chains like, well, not the most random, but ZK, Sync, and Say. They're doing these huge incentive campaigns, so go check those out. They're pretty high. Those are mostly for ETH USDC or ETH USD denominated pairs, but certainly worth looking into. Now we'll end there. There are so many other ETH yields out there, but I can't give away everything for free. So do please come check out the DeFi Dojo Discord. We're talking about yields all the time. We also talk about like polymarket arbitrage and stable coins and points and all the strategies you can imagine. We'd love to have you there. There is a 7-day free trial if you want. I think the description has the link. Thank you so much for watching. May your ETH go up in value and in amount. Have a wonderful rest of your day.